back to the news at 10. Let's cross over to Abuja. Here's Markwe. Markwe.
Well, hello, Ijoma. Members of the group called Concerned Nigerians, led by foremost entertainer Charlie Boy, have suspended their sit-in at the Unity Fountain in Abuja. The group began its protest 9 days ago, calling on the president to resume from his medical vacation or resign. Meanwhile, another group called the Niger Delta Youths marched in support of President Buhari, describing calls for his resignation as unpatriotic.
It is 100 days since President Buhari left Nigeria for medical treatment in London on May 12, 2017, and 10 days of the Resume or Resign campaign by the Concerned Nigerians group led by Charlie Boy. Although the group had earlier vowed to continue with the protest, 10 days into the campaign, the conveners are pulling out of the protest, citing attacks on their members.
Permit me, my fellow comrades, to say that we've come to the end of this particular sit-out. We've made our point. Let Nigerians judge.
The Resume or Resign campaigners were attacked on Tuesday, the 15th of August, at the Wuse market in Abuja by groups alleged to be supporting the president. Meanwhile, another group called Niger Delta Youths in support of President Buhari also converged on the Unity Fountain for a rally in support of the president.
It is our duty as citizens to pray for the president to be all right, so that he can come to complete his tenure. This is what we are saying. We shouldn't politicize or eat the politics of the day.
A significant number of the youths filed into the street, carrying placards and chanting songs of solidarity as they marched toward the presidential villa. At the 3Ms zone leading to the presidential villa, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, received the group.
We, the youth from Niger Delta, is coming to let the Nigerians know that the President has our total support, and he has done well for us.
This is very good. It shows that Nigeria will remain one country. Because what we have noticed is that some people had made efforts to create ethnic cleavages in the country. But what you have done today has reinforced our faith that Nigeria will remain one.
In the last 10 days, Abuja and Kaduna have witnessed a series of pro- and anti-Buhari protests. But the question about when the president will be returning from his medical vacation in the United Kingdom remain unanswered.
Meanwhile, Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has criticized the attack on the Concerned Nigerians group in Abuja. Governor Fayose is unhappy about it, insisting it is not in the best interest of democracy and rule of law. He describes the agitations of the protesters as legitimate and one that must be taken seriously.
Nigerians are not happy with the attack on Resume or Resign group that was attacked rudely yesterday. That is not in the interest of democracy, and it clearly shows the federal government as an authoritarian government, a government that has no respect for freedom of expression and freedom of association. You will recall during the big Bring Back Our Girls, during the Jonathan administration, they sat on the road for days. Nobody molested them. You recall during the fuel crisis of 2012, January 2012, Occupy Lagos, Occupy Nigeria, they freely expressed themselves, and most of these people that were in opposition at the time were participants of the demonstration, and they funded it. They were never molested. This country belongs to all of us.
That's Governor Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State. And that will be all from Abuja. It's back to you, Ijoma.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark, for that one. Now, the state of the Nigerian economy has been the subject of debate among the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party ahead of the 2019 elections. Well, an economist, Mr. Bismarck Rewani, believes that the two parties have their faults. But however, he says that voters in 2019 will have to determine for themselves whether or not their lives are better. Mr. Rewani was a guest on our political program, Politics Today.
It's not a picture of you fail or you pass. It is a question. The picture is the fact that the economy is on the mend after deteriorating. Most of the deterioration actually happened. The slide started well before the Buhari administration came in, but they did not take steps fast enough to arrest the slide. The slide couldn't have been as bad as it was. But they've recovered it, and now we are on the mend, and I think things are much better. This administration is operating with 45% of the revenues of the previous administration, and having to manage the carryover and the decline in the performance of the previous administration. At the same time, this administration did not react fast enough, and were not resolute. There was an excess crude account where the topping and the savings were kept. That excess crude account went as high as $22 billion. What happened in 2013 and 2014 was that excess crude account was raided. It was raided and used for consumption. It was used for consumption and also used for a subsidy scam, which almost brought the country to its knees.
Now, families are known to do so many things together, from going on holiday to shopping. Access Bank PLC has added to the list of activities with a family savings scheme where prizes can be won. The first random monthly draws for the gifts took place today in Lagos.
It's an excited crowd of mothers, fathers and children at the first monthly draws of the Access Bank Family Fortune promo. The Save Today, Take Tomorrow initiative was designed to help families develop a savings culture.
A saving culture that is not limited by what you have, but is based on the habits that you have imbibed over time. The Access Bank is gladly going to reward you with useful prizes that families can use, or with prizes that are useful to families.
People are chosen randomly from the crowd to push a button which starts the computerized random selection of winners. 50 winners are selected in this way for DSTV decoders, and other home-themed prizes are also being given out. It's time to call a few winners.
I won! Congratulations to you, sir. You won a family DSTV decoder, and yes, it is recharged. And you just won a 49 inches LED LG television. Wow!
The public is reminded that the promo is not over.
People have been qualifying for the weekly, the monthly, and they will still qualify for the mega if the money retains in their accounts. So it's not too late to sign up. You can sign up today.
We have sofas, family sofas for your living room for grabs. We have TVs, we have home theaters, we have shopping spree.
The family promo is a very thoughtful initiative of the bank. It encourages the savings culture.
The banking scheme is still open to families of at least 4 members who can maintain balances of 150,000 naira for a week, 300,000 naira for a month, and 300,000 naira for 90 days. The mega draws in December would be the high point, when houses, cars, vacations and scholarships will be up for grabs.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Waudu.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. The federal government saves 4.7 billion naira monthly from charges by banks for managing its funds due to the implementation of the Treasury single account. Well, according to the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Ahmed Idris, The policy has enabled the federal government block leakages and eliminate multiple banking arrangements that were used as fraud channels within the public sector before its commencement 2 years ago. The consolidation of over 20,000 public sector bank accounts into one Treasury single account has further brought about transparency and effective tracking of revenues. According to Mr. Idris, government has provided over 13.2 billion naira to settle backlogs of payment for promotion arrears of civil servants in the country. The Securities and Exchange Commission statistical bulletin is data collated from various segments of the capital market. The Director General of the Commission, Mr. Munir Gwazo, talks about the reason for this new initiative launched at the second quarter Capital Market Committee meeting right here in Lagos. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has revealed that the country's oil production cost per barrel is now down to $23. But last month, the cost of production stood at $29 a barrel, and it was reported as one of the highest levels in the world. Though the NNPC did not say how the firm has driven the cost down by $6, it aims to bring the cost of production to between $17 and $19 for onshore and offshore production. The equities market recorded its biggest loss yet for 2017 today after seeing 2 consecutive declines in its last 2 sessions this week. Bisi Adebayo has the details.
The all-share index of the Nigerian stock market plunged deeper by 2.68%, below the 37,000 level as profit-taking enters a third day. The industrial, banking and oil marketing shares were majorly hit, shaving total market value in excess of 375 billion naira to finish at a new low of 12.41 trillion naira. The recent sell-offs also pushed the NSE to third place behind Turkey and Zimbabwe stock markets among a list of best-performing world bourses currently monitored. In contrast to the over 300 million shares sold in the last 2 sessions, a lower turnover of 204.41 million units worth over 4.02 billion naira changed hands today in 4,323 deals, driven mostly by FBN Holdings, Access and GT Bank. 31 losers were led by Jaiz, Access and FCMB, while 10 gainers were led by CNI Leasing and Vitafoam. And that's it on the stock market reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thank you, BC. Well, it's mixed performance for some of the world's leading stock markets as investors react to latest regional earnings and wait the minutes of the last U.S. Federal Reserve meeting. Let's see the closing numbers for today. That's business news for tonight. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. The rest of the news at 10 continues with Ijoma.
You first. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria Women Premier League champions for 2016-2017 season to emerge in September. That's on sports. Please stay with us.